fact, of the two states, Maryland is the only state where the U.S. Capitol actually was present at one point in time. Maryland and Virginia both gave up land in order to fit the U.S. Capitol, so there is a little bit of residual beef there to what state the Capitol really sits. See, on this day, 210 years ago, April 22nd, 1814, James Madison ordered the U.S. Capitol to be packed up and moved to Brookville, Maryland, which was a small town in Montgomery County, Maryland. Now, this is after he watched the British a few days prior completely rout 6,500 U.S. troops after they landed 4,500 British troops riding up the Patuxent River during the War of 1812. In fact, President Madison was the first U.S. sitting president to be on an active battlefield with bullets and artillery firing. After witnessing this defeat, everybody knew what was coming next. The British were going to D.C. and likely going to burn it, which they did. So for 5 whole days, while Washington, D.C. burned, the entire U.S. government hid out in this little Maryland town. Now, an interesting note about the times of that era, people of D.C. and the U.S. government wasn't just worried about what the British were going to do. They were also concerned that amidst the chaos and battles, the slave population of the region would also rise up and either commit to violence themselves or even join up with the British. So in order to try to mitigate this, most of the D.C. slaves at the time were sent to many different surrounding towns and communities in the Virginia, Maryland area. Very few of them were allowed protection or entry into this little Maryland town, even though that's where many of their immoral owners went. Of course, the British left D.C. as quickly as they came because they realized that Baltimore was a much more important site, which allowed the U.S. government to quickly move back into D.C. and also allowed this little small Maryland town the ability to say that they were once a U.S. capital for a day.